Are your kids ready to go back to school? And what should they be eating? Hi, welcome. My name is Sarah Peternell. I'm the owner of Family Nutrition Services in Denver, and I'm the creator of a 30-day self-paced online program for people with Hashimoto's called Nourished and Renewed. You can find more information about that program in the pinned comments below. But today's video is for families with kids. It doesn't matter how old your kids are, if they're getting ready to go back to school, kindergarten through high school or even college, it's really the great time right now to start getting them prepared for a very successful school year. And you can do that with some nutrition and lifestyle tips. So that's what I'm going to focus on today in the video, which is getting you guys off to a great start. Now, everybody knows that this school year going back, whether it's in person, online, or a hybrid approach, is going to be different. We're all facing different challenges, and we're all kind of getting used to the new normal. Not my particular favorite, I have to admit. My kids are starting online on Monday. But I do get this question every year, every fall. Oh my gosh, we've had a busy summer with vacations and a lot of junk food and a lot of snack foods and a lot of fun foods and probably too much sugar. How do we change our habits in time for school so that the kids can not only get back on track with focus and comprehension, memory, mood, sleep, but also for the parents as well, right? I mean, summer's fun, but at some point, I think everybody in the family is really ready to start making a pretty big change. Well, I think the first thing that we can all focus on is getting kids off for a great start to the day with a healthy breakfast. It's pretty cliche to say that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. I mean, that's what our moms and grandmas always told us, right? But it is true. If you have a school-aged child and they are going to be starting maybe online school, say by 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, we need to get their brains ready. We need to fill the tank. We need to pump them up full of good nutrients and foods that are going to satiate them, but also to give them some staying power until snack time or lunchtime. And again, kids of all ages really benefit from consuming a healthy breakfast because just like you wouldn't get in your car and drive off somewhere far away without filling your gas tank first, we can't expect the same of our kids to get started on a very busy day without putting some fuel in the tank, so to speak. I really like that analogy because I think one of the things that we forget about brain power is that to function at our very best, we actually need nutrition, adequate calories, carbohydrates, fat, and protein in order for our brains to feel their best and function their best. Our brains, in fact, require just as much, if not more, of these really essential nutrients to do schoolwork and work for adults as our muscles require for an hour's worth of exercise. So this is a fair comparison, right? Working out or working hard on some brain tasks. They're basically one and the same. So let's not forget how important it is to fuel up those brains before we begin working, even first thing in the morning. I know a lot of kids wake up and they're not super excited to eat. Their appetites may be low. They might just not be, ready to go. So what are some things that you can do to help get your kids started? Well, I certainly am a big fan of smoothies. You can watch some of my other videos on this channel. I have a great, what I call the perfect breakfast smoothie. It's one that my kids have loved for years, and it's very accommodating to different dietary restrictions as well as tastes and preferences. The basic idea behind any smoothie is that you can customize it to the way that you would like for it to taste. I do have one tip though, and that is try not to mix colors of fruits and vegetables in your blender that are going to turn out ugly. A brown smoothie is kind of disgusting. And we know that our senses, including our sight, really plays a huge role in how we enjoy our food. And so if you're drinking something that kind of looks like throw up, maybe it's not your favorite breakfast in the world. So a green smoothie that's made with maybe some bright colored orange, yellow, or green fruits and vegetables, such as baby spinach, kiwi, frozen pineapple or frozen mango, maybe even a splash of orange juice. These colors are all kind of in the same family. You can mix this with, say, like almond milk or maybe even just a little bit of plain unsweetened full fat yogurt and water to kind of get the same consistency. You can add in some hemp seeds, or you can even use a kid-friendly, meaning no added sugars or fillers, protein powder to really help boost the smoothie. Don't forget the ice cubes because that'll keep it cold, and it also helps with the consistency. Making a smoothie and putting them in maybe like a nice travel size container if you need one on the go, or just putting it in a cute glass with, say, like a reusable metal straw is a great way to get kids kind of interested in having this smoothie. Smoothies are great because they're a little bit pre-digested, meaning that, the blender does some of the work of the mastication, right? We rely on our teeth to help us with our digestion and breaking down foods. But again, first thing in the morning, if your kid's not really having much of an appetite, or if you're just kind of feeling like they need something gentle on the stomach, a smoothie can really help fill the bill. Now, other things that are great but are a little bit more ready to order, like you kind of have to, be in the kitchen with your kids to have these turn out okay, would be things like scrambled eggs. Super easy. Just whip up some eggs. I like to whip my eggs with just a little bit of filtered water and a pinch of salt, cooking them in a hot pan with either coconut oil, ghee, lard, or Kerrygold butter, because those are saturated fats, and they'll help to keep, obviously, the eggs from sticking to the pan, but also they add that really nice saturated fat to the eggs that are going to help to keep your kids satiated a little bit longer. And saturated fats are so important for brain health and brain function. We often give saturated fats a bad rap. How long has butter kind of been the villain, right? But what we know now from plenty of research is that butter and other saturated fats are actually really, really important for the brain, but also as precursors with other vitamins and minerals to make so many different processes in the body take place, namely healthy hormones. So if you have adolescent age children, middle school age children, preteens, teenagers, getting in some of these healthy fats is really key to helping them with their growth and development, their hormonal development and function, not to mention just keeping them satiated a little bit longer. So scrambled eggs. Other things you can do with eggs, if eggs are okay for you and your family, would be to make like little egg muffin cups. I love these for breakfast because you can make them in advance on, say, like a Sunday night and refrigerate them, and they're pretty easy to warm up. We use our toaster oven mostly for warming things up. I'm not a huge fan of the microwave. That's a different video for a different day. But if you need to, you can also warm them up in the microwave, and this makes it really convenient for older kids to warm up their own breakfast. Because again, the online school thing with moms and dads working and whatnot, it may not be possible for you to be in the kitchen at the time that your kiddos are ready to eat. So egg muffins, you can find these recipes all over Pinterest, all over the internet. Even just doing like an egg casserole and just kind of your standard like 9x11 glass baking dish, say with some spinach, maybe some Swiss cheese or goat cheese, onions, red peppers. You could even put hash browns in there. You could cut up some sausage or some pre-cooked bacon and make an egg casserole that you can cut into squares. And then a single size serving would be really easy for your child to reheat, your older child to reheat, and have that maybe with a piece of fruit, a piece of toast, whole grain toast, maybe with like some peanut butter, almond butter. These are some really great, obviously balanced foods to help get them up and going for school in the morning. Now, I say balanced because the idea behind macronutrient balance for health for your kids for the school year is really important. Now, let's think about how we feel if we wake up in the morning and have a big cup of coffee and a donut. Sure, it tastes good, but what happens in about an hour? Well, first of all, your blood sugar is going to go up, 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 and you're going to be like, woo, taking on the world. You might even feel like a little bit sick from all that sugar going into your bloodstream, but after it leaves your body, you are going to be crashing. Makes it hard to think. You might even have a little bit of reactive hypoglycemia, which is no good. And we don't want this for our kids because the last thing they need is to be online trying to pay attention to a task, listening to a lecture, trying to do some of their schoolwork, and all of a sudden they're like, feeling fuzzy in the brain, can't really concentrate. This is what happens when our kids wake up and maybe sometimes left to their own devices. They're having a bowl of sugared cereal, a donut, like a sugary muffin, a waffle with a bunch of syrup. All of these high refined sugars and carbohydrates by themselves make for kind of a poor learning environment in their bodies and brains. So I'm not saying that necessarily any of those things are 100% a bad idea, but let's just say, for example, you've made maybe some muffins and there's some refined sugar in there. Now that's not necessarily the problem, but having it with a protein is a much better idea. So I'm a big fan of the Applegate Farms chicken sausages. Again, they're pre-cooked, easy to heat in the toaster oven or the microwave, or even just over a quick saucepan on a medium temperature over the stove. And you could have these high protein sausages with something like, you know, a muffin. I would prefer to be whole grain or gluten-free or grain-free or low sugar, or, you know, something to that nature, just so that it's not going to spike the blood sugar too much. And then have that maybe with a piece of high antioxidant, high fiber fruits like blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, boysenberries. Berries, apples, and pears for fruits are one of the best options you can give for your kids because they are high in fiber and they are high in antioxidants. And something like a blueberry, for example, especially wild blueberries, if you can find those. I know Costco sometimes carries the organic wild blueberries in the frozen section. These contain particular antioxidants that are very, very, very good for brains. I have a whole blog post over on my website at sarahpeternell.com about nutrition for growing brains. I specifically address in that article some of the concerns that parents face when they are dealing with maybe learning differences, ADD, ADHD, whether it's diagnosed or suspected. Sometimes these particular classes of symptoms or syndromes as it pertains to learning and comprehension, memory, mood, etc., can benefit from particular dietary strategies. And blueberries, believe it or not, is actually one of them. So as I was saying, the muffin, maybe not like the worst idea ever, depending on what the ingredients are, but pair it with a healthy protein and a high antioxidant fruit, such as blueberries. Great for the brain. Now, other brain foods that I talk about in that article, and again, you're welcome to hop over there on my website and check it out, but I'll just kind of give you some of my other top favorite brain foods. Salmon. Now, your kids are maybe not going to have salmon for breakfast, although a lot of kids actually like smoked salmon on a whole grain or gluten-free bagel with maybe some cream cheese and some smoked salmon. And again, pairing this with either maybe a small smoothie or a small serving of fruit. This can actually also be a really good breakfast for kids. I find that the older kids, teens, and young adults, they seem to kind of go for these more savory breakfasts than some of the younger kiddos. Although I certainly have known my fair share of toddlers who will eat smoked salmon for breakfast. But salmon is high in omega-3s. It's a great source of protein. And again, it's pretty easy to prepare. So salmon is a great brain food. Another great brain food are walnuts. Have you ever looked closely at a shelled walnut? It kind of has these little bumps and ridges. It actually looks like a brain. Super cool that nature can kind of mimic one of the areas in which this particular food actually supports our body's health. So walnuts, again, a great source of healthy fats and plenty of the nutrients and antioxidants that are very supportive of combating free radicals, damage, toxins, etc., that we are exposed to everywhere in the world around us. And when we take in certain foods that are protective of the brain or have high antioxidant value, what we're doing is just helping the brain to naturally cleanse and clean itself of the environmental toxins that we're faced with every single day. So walnuts make a great choice, whether you are doing them maybe like some chopped walnuts on oatmeal or maybe like a walnut butter on some whole grain toast. You can even throw a few walnuts into your smoothie and they'll blend up just fine. Works a little bit better if you have a high-powered blender like a Vitamix or a Ninja, if you don't want those walnut chunks. But you know what? I've blended nuts into a variety of different smoothies, even if I didn't have a high-powered blender, and I still think it adds a really nice consistency, texture, and flavor. I'm a big fan of that kind of nutty flavor. So again, back to smoothies, I'll add in hemp seeds, or I'll add in almond butter, or I'll add in cashews. There's a variety of nuts that you can add, and walnuts are going to be one of your best options. I've already talked about blueberries, so to recap, salmon, walnuts, blueberries, also avocado. Now, how many of our kids are going to sit down to avocado toast for breakfast? Not too many. I personally love avocado toast for breakfast. I'll make a good piece of high fiber, low sugar, very clean ingredient, gluten-free bread in the toaster, and I'll put some avocado just mashed with a little bit of sea salt right on top of my toast, and sometimes I'll even have it with a poached egg or a hard-boiled egg or a fried egg for a little bit of extra protein. The avocados are high in monounsaturated fats and fiber and tons of nutrients, including things like potassium, magnesium, and micronutrient minerals like manganese and other vitamins and minerals that are really supportive of kids' brains and kids' growth and development at various stages. So avocado toast might be more for the grown-ups, but you know, you can also throw some avocado into a smoothie for your kids and they'll never know it's there. You know, you probably don't want to put the whole avocado in, but like a quarter of an avocado with water and ice, spinach, and some frozen pineapple is one of the most amazing smoothies ever, and your kids will never know that they're eating avocado for breakfast. So give it a try. So I've covered some of my top foods. I've covered some of my top tips for breakfast to help get you guys off to the right start for school this year. Check out my other videos that I have for family nutrition, as well as check out some of my articles on my website, especially those for kids. And if you are interested in getting more information in particular about how to live your best life, if you have hypothyroidism or Hashimoto's, and maybe that's how you found my channel, but you're really ready for some more in-depth specific information and tools that you can customize for your health, please do check out Nourished and Renewed with Hashimoto's, and the pinned link for that program is in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching. I wish you guys the very, very best start to your school year this year. We'll all be in this together, and I'll be doing some more videos this fall to help support your kids on their learning journey. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.